hope you get some rest in tonight. I'm sorry that I couldn't properly say goodbye earlier.
If you know that it's improper to just up and leave like that, you should have made your parents wait a little longer when I was in the bathroom. It didn't even take that long. How could you dare to just up and leave from a meeting like that? You have absolutely no manners with this one. I already don't really like you as my son's wife. You should be behaving more carefully from now on.
It's because your husband told us to go ahead and head out because you were taking too long in the bathroom. I thought it was okay to leave since he said that. I didn't know that he didn't let you know beforehand that we were leaving.
You should have told him that you were going to wait until I came back. I wanted to test you with how you're going to react with this. That's why I didn't go back to the table. How can you not even be able to wait for an extra 30 minutes?
I'm telling you, it wasn't that we just left because we were tired of waiting. It's because we were told it was okay to leave. That's why we left. But if you keep nitpicking on it when it wasn't really our fault but a part of a miscommunication, I don't know how to react to this. Also, if you don't come back for a good 30 minutes, we're going to start to think that you're not feeling too well. We're just trying to leave so that you won't have to deal with having to be in a formal sitting for any longer.
Stop making excuses. To me, it seems like you're nitpicking and making up excuses to make yourself look better. 30 minutes? Was it that hard to just wait for another 30 minutes? Knowing that we reserved an expensive restaurant like that for today? We paid for everything, too. You know that, right? If you know, then how can you act so rude and thoughtless toward me?
I know. Trust me, I do. But that's beside the point. You took the setting as a chance to say all kinds of rude things to me, talking about the difference in the level there is between Timothy and I.
If you know that, then how about you take this chance and learn your lesson? You should know your place, Jasmine. Our whole family works for the government, and my son has a federal job too. But on the other hand, when it comes to you, you're just some girl that works in a smaller business company that's on its way to being fallen apart. Did you really think that you could be on the same level as us?
I think you're trying your best with this one to put me in my place or whatever, but nobody cares about what level or class you are nowadays. I hope that you'll be able to follow through with the newest trends that we have going on these days. Also, you keep talking about money and other this and that, but if you're really that concerned about having to spare your own coin with helping us set up ourselves for our house and whatnot, I'll make sure that I won't ask for any help on your end and get a loan or whatever to deal with it on my own. Then you won't have to keep complaining about having to help out, right?
Do you think that I'm one of those mean mother-in-laws or something that wants to kick the daughter-in-law out of the house or something? I'm just telling you the truth, so why are you so amped up about it anyway? I can't even say anything because I'm afraid I might have offended you or something. It's true that your family is nowhere near all level, if you get what I mean.
Oh, goodness. I don't think I can keep talking to you like this. I'm starting to understand why you were talking about money and was so desperate to help out with this whole marriage. You're just trying to help out so that you'll have a reason to nitpick on when it comes to anything that might arise in the future. You just want to make sure that you can keep telling us and insulting us about how we're like beggars and don't want to get anything done on our own. You're trying to use us for your own self-esteem. That was your plan for this whole time. I'm not trying to get dragged around like that.
What did you just say? You really aren't afraid to say anything to me, huh? Just wait. I'm going to take a screenshot of all this and show it to Timothy. I can't believe you went this far to being rude to me. You'll regret this one day, Missy.
Sure, go ahead. I don't care what you do anymore at this point. I feel like I just keep repeating myself with the same thing over and over when I have to talk to you. I think you should find someone else to talk to instead.
Babe, what's going on? Did you bicker with my mom or something? She called me just now crying. I thought we were having a good time earlier. What happened?
Are you serious? You really think we were having a good time earlier? You must not have been paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, you were laughing the whole time.
Oh boy. Is it because you come from a prestigious family or something that you're having a hard time reading the room? Nope, there's no way. You don't necessarily act like you've got everything together like that either.
What do you mean by that? You're trying to make me mad, right?
Now that I'm talking bad about you, you decide to catch on, don't you? You need to really start realizing what's actually going on in the room. How can you think of any part of that meeting being a fun and enjoyable setting at all? Do you even know how uncomfortable my dad and I were, sitting there listening to all sorts of insults? Your mom literally treated us like we're hobos off the street. Sure, we don't have that much money because my mom was ill for a really long time. We lost a lot of money in the process. Then we went through a flood and lost even more money with that. We had to literally buy everything in the house again, ranging from furniture to electronics. We had no time to save up on any money. Your family already knows about all of this and what we went through, but she still wants to flash her class and money in our faces. And you just sat there without even knowing what was going on the whole time? You never once even tried to stop her from insulting us.
Well, at least you know.
What?
At least you know that you don't really have any money saved up on your end. That's why my mom wasn't too calculative about who pays more and who pays less. She didn't care about that. Don't take it too negatively. She didn't mean any harm.
How can you possibly say that she didn't mean any of what she said to us? She ended almost all of her sentences with, "It's probably because you're poor." And every time the next course meal was brought in, she would ask us, "Have you ever tried something like this before?" Then, when I went ahead and started talking about the town that we live in right now, she went as far as to say, "Doesn't that town have a lot of shootings and crimes because of how poor it is?"
She said that because she was worried about you guys.
Oh, did you really take that as that way? Then you're part of the problem too. Wake the hell up. How do you not understand that she was implying things with every single word that she said to us? You're literally over 30 years old. You've worked an adult job and know what it's like out here.
It's really not like that, trust me. My mom doesn't do stuff like that. She's a very caring and kind mom, and she always has been to us. She'll never deliberately hurt someone else's feelings like that.
Of course, she's the greatest mother in the whole world. For you, because you're her son. Do you really think that she was going to treat a daughter-in-law the same way she treats her son?
Did you not feel that she was trying to be nice to you? Maybe you're being delusional about it.
Did you just call me delusional?
I feel like that's exactly what's going on right now. It's true that my family has hardworking individuals. That's why we were able to have a steady income and create a decent amount of savings. My brother also works at a federal agency. I mean, being in a steady field is what's important for getting on the road to becoming rich. That's why you feel insecure when compared to all of us.
Wow, I can't believe that this is the conclusion that you've come to in the end. You talk as if you work for the president or something. I really don't want to talk bad about people like this, but you're the same person as your mom. Of course you're going to get the same type of crop if you planted seed in the exact soil. Okay, I guess I was the dumb one here.
I want you to be a little more careful with how you word things. If you just went ahead and was nice and non-argumentative with my mom, this wouldn't have happened. You would have probably been able to get on her good side and would have had an easy rest of the life living with a rich family. I don't know why you would blow that chance away because of your ego.
So, you think I'm the problem then? Because I'm being mean and rude? Can you endure your parents going somewhere and being treated like some nobodies then?
If you're talking about my mom doing that to you, she hasn't.
Okay, if you say so and really think that way, then go ahead and keep thinking that way. I really don't understand how prejudiced you or your mom can be. Dad, I'm getting married soon. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like my daughter is finally keeping her word and moving out of the house so I can have more space to myself.
Oh, can't you be a little nicer today, Dad? I know you feel totally different from what you just said. You always want to say the very opposite from how you really feel.
Yeah, to be very honest, I don't really feel all too happy about this marriage. I don't know how rich these people actually are, but it still doesn't give them a reason to treat us like they did yesterday. Do you really need to get married to Timothy? When we were back home, your mom immediately started to cry. This isn't right.
I know. I don't want to get married anymore either. Not only is his mom crazy, but Timothy isn't all that better off than her. Like, what is the point of acting like that? Do they have more money than Jeff Bezos? It's all relative when it comes to who has more money than who. They all annoy me.
I agree. After all, it isn't like Timothy works as a congressman or something like that. He's just another person that happens to work for the government.
I don't know why, but at the same time they want to rush the marriage. Why? They don't even like us.
I can already tell that they're trying to use you around as a servant or something, trying to slave you out. Don't worry, I've got an excellent plan in my head to put them in their place.
Dad, what are you planning to do? I've already fought with Timothy and his mom like there's no tomorrow. They still don't know what they did was wrong. I guess it's true that you shouldn't try to change someone.
I don't like fighting anyway, but I'll take care of this on my own end, so you should worry about other things. Oh, maybe you should take a little vacation and catch some fresh air. How is the house looking like?
It's a little small, one-bedroom apartment.
And they were making all of that fuss about helping out with paying for some one-bedroom apartment? This gives me a headache. Tell them they don't need to do all of that.
Dad, I know we don't even have money like that. Don't worry about it.
I have enough money to help my daughter out with her getting a house to live in with her husband. I'm gonna call the in-laws here in a little bit and tell them that they don't need to help out, so stay put. I can't stand them looking down on us just because we don't have as much money as them.
What are you trying to do? Don't do anything crazy, Dad. It really isn't that big of a deal.
Oh, go away. I'll take care of it.
You remember that today's the day we're getting all of the furniture into the house, right? The people are going to come by here anytime to move all of the stuff into the house, so make sure to be at the house. I just got out of work, so I'll be there in a minute.
Yeah, I just got a call from the delivery people. They keep telling me to make enough space to put in all of the furniture. But like, what space? We don't even have that much space in the house to begin with.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing. I'm just saying that I know how your family is with money. And so when you said you'll take care of all of the furniture, I called your dad and told him it doesn't need to be anything crazy, so just buy used stuff, as long as it works.
Oh, I see. How considerate of you, huh?
Oh, I think they're here now. They're ringing the doorbell. Give me a second.
Yeah? My dad told me that he had something to say to you with regards to all of the money and the furniture situation.
Your dad? What does he want to talk about?
I don't know, but he wants me to invite him into this chat room. I'll have him invited when you take care of the furniture's coming in. Dad, it seems like Timothy just got all of the furniture coming in.
Yeah? I made sure that they're all new products and the best models I could find out in the market. I hope Timothy likes them too. Why did you buy such big furniture? The house isn't really that big. I don't know if they're all gonna fit in our house. Oh, is that so? I thought you were taking her to a big house to live in, so I decided to get fresh products straight out of the factory so that they'll last long enough. Is the house really that small? How small is it? It's only a one-bedroom apartment. It's in a good spot, but the size of the apartment itself isn't really all that big. A one-bedroom apartment? You decided to get married and live in a one-bedroom apartment together? I requested for a chandelier to be put into the living room, too. It's a really big one. I don't know if the chandelier would even fit into the living room. We probably won't even be able to see the TV if something like that comes in. Well then, you should have gotten a bigger house. It's not just you living in the house now, is it? When we were at that meeting the one time, it sounded like you guys were planning on living in some kind of palace or something. That's why I ordered everything to be new and big so that my daughter can start a new chapter in her life. But a one-bedroom apartment? Now that's way too small for your own good. My goodness, that drawer isn't the biggest one either. Are you gonna have space to put it in? If I knew you were gonna move into a small home like that, I should have just brought everything small and used. You should have told me that the house is gonna be small from the get-go so that this wouldn't have happened. We're going to be in-laws once you guys get married. I should be knowing about something like this beforehand so that I can get appropriate gifts for you guys. Oh, babe, did you not tell him about the house before?
I forgot. I'm so sorry. The only thing that my dad heard about this whole time was the stuff that we talked about in that meeting that one time. My dad was thinking that you guys were obviously going to help out with the house with all of that talk that went on in the meeting. That's why we brought in most of the furniture. But the thing is, he didn't know that it was going to be such a small house because of the way you guys were talking about it. It made us think that we were going to move into a mansion or something.
Okay, I see. Well, I think that we'll just have to tell the people to just take it back for today because they're just not going to fit. I'm sorry, we just can't figure out a way to fit everything into the house. Is that so? All right, I guess there's nothing we can do then. Hopefully you can figure it out. All right.
Wow, what was that, Dad? It worked! Oh, and that was just so refreshing. Do you know how funny that was? I was laughing to myself the whole time.
I wish I could have seen him in person to see what kind of faces he would have made. I just wondered to myself about how he would have reacted if it wasn't through the phone but rather in person.
Besides that, how did you manage to get all of that expensive furniture? Are you sure that you didn't spend too much money? I hope you didn't have to get a loan or something.
No, that's not what happened, so don't worry. I don't have much money, but you know about all of the connections that I have with different people. I just went around and asked my friends who work in different furniture and electronic sales to help me out with this one and lend me the best selling options that there are. I know how you feel about this marriage. That's why you've been telling me that you won't actually get the marriage paperwork done until a little later.
Oh, Dad, I just knew that you understood how I felt. Even if you're cold and aloof about most things a lot of the times, you're such a weird dad.
This is the time for me to shine as a dad. What dad out here wouldn't do justice for their daughter when she's being put on the spot for no reason? Only the people who gave up as a dad wouldn't do anything for their children.
Dad, I'm so touched. You have no idea how I feel right now. Thank you so much. I feel like I'm going to cry.
Cry for what? Don't cry. Stand strong and live on. All that his family wants to do is take advantage of their position and look down on someone who doesn't have it as good as they do. They gain their self-esteem by comparing their wealth to those who are struggling with their own problems. They are losers. They won't dare to talk about breaking this marriage up now that they've learned their first lesson.
Okay, Dad. I'm so happy that you're my dad. I couldn't wish for someone else to be my dad. I want to take this chance and show off that I'm your daughter. I love you, Dad, and thank you for being here with me.
Quit with all that. I love you too.
We're moving you and Timothy into a bigger house. Are you happy now? I don't know why you would even try and show off something that you aren't even capable of doing in the first place. What was up with those overly new and fancy furniture that you brought in?
Oh, that was my dad's work. Do you have a problem with it? It was him that helped me out with all of that.
Are you really trying to nitpick on what I'm saying in this situation right now?
No, not really. I'm just trying to make sure that we know what's true and what's not true. I've noticed that you have an awful sense of being polite.
What? You better watch out with what you're saying.
I'm just trying to see that my dad was a little surprised. He thought your family were some kind of millionaires or something because of the way you kept flaunting about everything. What did you expect? I mean, it is true that you were being rude and pretentious about what position we hold in the society or whatever. That's why we were trying to make sure we hold up to the standards. But it seems like my dad is very disappointed. He didn't think that you did all of that bragging just to move us into a one-bedroom apartment. The furniture wouldn't even fit in there.
What even? That apartment wasn't even that small. What are you going on about?
Well, is the house on Timothy's name? Even if you have a lot of money, you probably got the house with a loan. Who's going to pay all that?
What do you mean, who? Of course, Timothy's going to pay for it since it's under his name.
Ah, I see. Thanks for the information. Anyway, I'll try to swap the furniture out with something smaller this time. I doubt this other house that we'll move in is going to be that much bigger.
Hey, what are you even doing with me right now? Did you take a look at the new house that I'm trying to hook you up with? What is your deal?
Babe, was that what all of this was about? I knew something was weird and out of place that day. You even invited father-in-law to the chat.
What, are you uncomfortable with my dad or something?
Stop it at once with all of this stupid petty act. Why are you acting like you have no idea what's going on? I already heard about everything from my mom. That whole thing was premeditated, wasn't it? You guys purposely bought furniture that wouldn't even fit into a one-bedroom apartment to make a fool out of us.
Wow, I was wondering if it was your IQ that was low because there was no way you hadn't caught on to that whole thing with your mom that happened back during that one time. But once again, you are extremely quick with catching on to yourself being insulted, though. It wasn't anything crazy that was planned out. I actually didn't know about it. My dad wanted to teach you a lesson for being so prideful.
So you're telling me he bought all of that stuff just to make fun of me?
Are you gullible or are you just stupid? I'm thinking that it's the latter. There's a thing called renting stupid. The truth is that my dad was successful with teaching you a lesson with just a little bit of money involved.
I don't think that this is something that can be concluded under the name of trying to teach me a lesson. I literally bought that apartment with a loan. Do you even know the interest rate on it every month?
I actually am not too sure. Probably because it isn't under my name, to be honest.
What is up with you acting out like this? You're starting to make me feel resentful towards you.
Oh, so you feel resentful toward me? Good. At least you know how I've been feeling this entire time, you jerk. I really tried to let this go and just deal with it on my own, but no. Your family is so proud of themselves and pretentious about everything, and I couldn't stop myself from thinking about what a miserable life I would live if I were to still let myself get married to you. I just wondered how much money they could really have that they're so confident with acting like this. But then you showed up with some one-bedroom apartment that told me otherwise about your family, with a huge loan to even get the house to begin with. Your house is just all bark and no bite. You guys care too much about what other people see and think about you. Your whole entire family is full of cowards.
You should really think before you say some things. You don't just call people cowards without a good reason. I feel really offended and think you should apologize with this one.
Get the hell out of here with that stupid nonsense. When your mom was out there insulting and looking down at our family, all you did was laugh and act as if nothing was wrong with that. But this? You're mad about this and offended? I'm just so happy right now that we didn't actually file the marriage papers. Actually, it's great that we didn't proceed too deep into this whole marriage process. We didn't even have a wedding ceremony yet. We should just break up. You do know that a regular breakup is far better than a divorce, right?
How are you going to talk about breakups and divorces that easily? You can't be like that. Do you even know how many years it's been since we've seen each other?
How many years? Hey, wake up. That's not love that was happening. It was patience. At least for me. I tried to believe that things would change as long as I keep telling you about the rights and wrongs because of all the times that we've spent together.
I didn't know. You didn't tell me.
What do you mean I didn't tell you? I just said I've been telling you about the rights and wrongs in our relationship. You just decided to let it go in one ear and out the other. I don't want to sit here feeling like I'm some monk who has to just refrain and have patience with everything. Let's just end everything here.
No, I don't want that. I want to live with you.
If you really want to live with me, then you should have been better with listening to other people's concerns. All you did was act selfish, and now you want to whine about wanting to get married? I've kept our relationship low-key so that only a handful amount of people would know about it. I'm glad that I kept it that way now that it's going to end. Have a fun time paying for all that interest, and I hope you're successful in finding some woman that's the exact same person as you. In the end, it turns out that they didn't even have that much money to begin with. It was just that the empty box was the one that was making all of the rattling noises. The real estate industry hasn't been doing too well, so his mom is having a hard time trying to sell the one-bedroom apartment back. They're struggling to pay all of that interest that came with it. They are getting what they deserve. On the other hand, I've been living my life and working hard in order to focus more on myself. I found a man that has a totally opposite mentality from what Timothy and his family had. It's looking like I'm going to be married next month. Thank you for watching, and please leave a like and subscribe.